Hello everyone, I'm a film major who never watches any films, so that's why I've decided to watch a new film every single day. And the film that I watched for this episode is actually a Netflix film called Over the Moon. So from what I understand, it's a Chinese animation movie with an all Chinese cast, so that's pretty nice. It's awesome to see representation like that. We definitely need like more, mainstream popular films like that, especially for like a kids movie. It's always nice, especially for like a little kid, to see some representation for who they are on the screen, and I am glad that Netflix is funding some films like this. That being said, it is a kids film, and it starts off very strong. The whole idea of this film is it's more like a it's supposed to be like an emotional movie that follows this young girl who is going through her father is remarrying. So her mother died when she was young. It shows that at the beginning. It's very emotional. So it's not really a spoiler because it's in the first 2 minutes. But it's very emotional, and the whole story is the daughter, accepting that and how to move on with her new family, kind of. And so she tries to avoid it in many different ways. But the main thing that she's holding on is the way that her mother did things, the way her mother cooked, the way that her mother, prepared her lunch, the way that the mother helped her with school or whatever, the way that her mother told her these stories, these bedtime stories. And she goes on a mission to prove that the moon goddess is real so that her father won't forget her mother. And so it's very endearing, very heartfelt, but it also kind of just gets lost in it a little bit. There are musical numbers, but most of them are not very great. There's no like chorus, there's no like sing-along part for like kids. I'm thinking of things like, maybe it's not fair to compare to things like Disney, but I'm thinking of like Let It Go. Everybody knows the chorus of Let It Go, even if you've never watched the film. But, these songs, they don't have like a hook that, you can easily attach to. They're not very sing-along to. There's even like, one of the musicals is like a rap, and that's supposed to be like the main moon goddess and like the girl's little stepbrother. And I don't know, I don't really see a kid necessarily rapping along to some of these songs when they're, especially if there's like no hook, I don't know. So I just felt like a bit of a disconnect there. Also, like, more than halfway through the movie, they were introducing new characters, which was kind of weird. There were, like, some small, adorable... There was, like, an adorable side character that they tried to introduce more than halfway through the movie, because the daughter was separated from her stepbrother. And it was just kind of weird because it felt like we had been in the movie for way too long for new characters to be getting introduced and for their stories to start being unraveled a little bit. So it seemed like it was just kind of trying to hit the the time limit for the movie that they had set. They were just trying to lengthen it out a little bit. There was like a weird moment where like the girl had to work with a biker gang in space on the moon. I don't know, so it was just kind of confusing. It just seemed to kind of teeter off the longer that the film went on, but it wasn't a horrible movie. The animation looked pretty for the most part. Some of it was a bit stale, like sometimes the backgrounds were just very flat, there wasn't much going on. And then lots of the side characters were very bland, not interesting. Not like the humans, but like the people on the moon, they were just like little blobs or little jellies, so obviously like not much detail was put into them. They're just, hey, they're a circle with a face on it, and that is the character. So it kind of did seem that they didn't have like the ability to make it as big or as grand, and they weren't able to make like the kind of hooks that they were trying to make with the song. So it feels a little bit flat, feels a little bit long, kind of should have ended like 20-30 minutes sooner, or had like actual things in the movie that made the runtime more justified, I guess. It's not a bad movie in any ways. It's just not a great movie in any ways. So give it a watch if you're interested, but I'd give it a 3 or 4. Probably a 4 because that's less mean, but I feel maybe more like a 3.